Good morning, Ms. Kapur. I'd like to thank you for being here with us today. So let's just get it right into the interview. So our first question is, did you think that the debate was fair and the questions are fairly objective? And what did you think of the other candidates' performances?
Well, overall, I thought that the debate was fair, but I think that a lot of the questions had a little bit of a liberal bias because both the other candidates were liberal and I was the conservative one. So in that respect, I think it was a little bit biased. Concerning my opponent's argument, I don't think that they were. I mean, they had great ideas, but I think their arguments were lacking in that they didn't really explain how they're going to pull through on all of the arguments.
Ms. Kapur, can you explain why you didn't attack the other candidates as much? Because I'm sure people realize that Mr. Murphy-Hawken and Ms. Christopherson's policies are pretty similar, and it would have been really effective to attack one of their policies and bring them both down in the process.
Although that's true, I thought that rather contrasting my ideas with theirs would be more effective because it's a better representation of who I stand for and what my beliefs are. Also, as like a moderate conservative, we kind of are willing to put forth that bipartisan effort to work with them because in Congress, as you know, we are a minority, and to get things passed, we have to really learn to work with each other and accept, make compromises.
Okay, so this next question deals with homosexual marriage. And don't you think by not allowing homosexual marriage, it'll increase government regulations over what citizens can and can't do? Especially if the homosexual couples don't have a child and there isn't much of a need for family values, then why doesn't this just become blatant restriction by the government?
We're definitely not trying to blatantly restrict the family values. There is family values between a homosexual couple. They have a certain understanding between each other. So we're not putting restrictions on that, but we don't feel that our communities are ready for it right now. So we don't want to endorse it because we don't feel they're ready. And I don't think it's a right atmosphere to bring a child into who knows about.
So what do you think about Iran's nuclear weapon policy? What do you think justifies Iran not having nuclear weapons? Because the U.S. obviously hasn't used nuclear power for energy only before.
Well, I think that what justifies the U.S. having nuclear weapons over Iran is that we have an understanding with the UN, and we're in contract with them, and we have decided that we will consult the UN before we even think about using our nuclear weapons for something other than energy, whereas Iran does not have that understanding with the UN and refuses to have talks with us or the UN. And our plan that we're suggesting is that we do give that energy, nuclear energy to Iran, but more for civil use, and not letting them produce something that's threatening, that's globally threatening.
So, Ms. Kapur, you said at the end of the debate that you were willing to put family values as the driving force of your policies, even if it meant suspending the Bill of Rights. But you said that it depends on the situation. Can you explain what you meant?
Well, right now there's no law or anything in the Bill of Rights that says that a homosexual couple is allowed to adopt a child. So what we're basically saying is that there's nothing in Congress that kind of tells us that we can't make that decision, and we don't feel it's right for family values because we don't know how the child is going to be brought up. So that's basically what we're saying.
Okay, and this is sort of a follow-up question. Say that a father is on the death row for murder. You supported the death penalty, but you also supported family values. How would you deal with this sort of a situation when confronted with it?
Well, if a father is a murderer, he's a murderer. He's definitely not good for family values. So what we would do is we'd help the mother through this. We'd help the children through. We'd get them counseling. We'd get them involved in the community and kind of have support for them, because we don't think that that's a stable environment for the family to be in where a father's a murderer. So we'd make sure that the family's okay.
Okay, and this is our last question of the day. Is there anything else you feel that voters should know about you and your policies?
Well, I think I pretty accurately represented myself, but I want to say that I'm here to represent you. I'm a moderate conservative, and I need your vote.
Okay, thank you very much for your time today, and have a nice day.